flaunting and shit and jealousy.
Yeah,
That type of.
yeah. And I mean, and as we see it, like, I mean, like, I think with the flaunting and the jealousy and everything that comes about from that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it brings about like a glorified gang culture, you know what I'm saying? And I just wonder, like,
But
go ahead.
before you start, isn't that kind of like why they even in DC why the kids have to wear uniforms and shit? I guess it was to try to like keep the violence and down because I guess some kids might come to school with a clothing item that another kid didn't have, and they would get jealous. So it's like, hey, everybody just wear uniforms to try to eliminate that as much as they can.
Or even
Yeah,
and shit.
I was just wondering, like, when does the glorification and like the glorification of gang culture, like whether it's fighting, whether it's shooting, whether it's robbing, whether it's, you know what I'm saying, like anything at above, like anything that is tearing down of the next person just to uplift yourself. I wonder, you know what I'm saying, at what point in time does that stop, and how do we get it to stop if we can?
I mean, so with that whole topic, it's multi-layered because so if we start with one place where you got people in impoverished neighborhoods that they stressful situations, poverty, people not having a lot, so it's like it heightens the level of competition with your neighbor because y'all lacking resources, so you look at the person next to you as competition. Makes sense. So then you have people who live in this lifestyle. Then you have people who say, hey, this is interesting that the average American is not going through this. So let me put a lens and camera on these people and let me broadcast it for the world to see. So then all of a sudden, when they started broadcasting this life for the world to see, it created a market, right? So then it became a market. The average person who's not going living that life, not going through that lifestyle, but they're attracted to that lifestyle. So like I said, it created a market. Now it becomes an addiction. Now it becomes like I want to see more hood shit. I want to see more gang shit. I want to see more of that. You know what I'm saying? And then the people who's actually living that life, they're watching the positive reinforcement of being a gangster because they get so much attention from it. They see niggas from their gang culture getting elevated in the music industry for talking about how they were shooting and killing niggas, and then they get glorified. They like, wow, King Von was getting elevated for being a real street nigga. Look at all the fucking notoriety he's getting, all the respect he's getting. Well, shit, if he can get rich and famous off being a shooter, why can't I be one too? You see what I'm saying? So now it's just creating more of it. So because there's a market for it, because the people who's not going through that lifestyle actually want to see that, and then you got niggas who's actually going through it. They see that people actually are not glorifying their, giving it positive reinforcement. It's like, nigga, why not be that way? There's not a lot of options out here, and the niggas who I do see getting out is rapping, and they was committing crimes. They was doing this in the third. So who's to tell me that I can't be successful in the same fucking way? You know what I mean? And the answer to the question, when does the glorification stop, is when the people get tired of consuming the shit. Because as long as niggas see that there's niggas getting rich off of being a gang nigga, niggas are going to continue to be gang niggas because there's a lot of positive reinforcement that comes with that shit. So I think once the market for it goes away and people stop consuming that shit, then they will start to seem pointless to a lot of these. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these killings is senseless and it's really more about reputation more than anything. You know what I'm saying? And even the nigga King Von, to be completely honest, the reason why people respect him so much is because he was really what he was talking about in his raps, even though it wasn't positive, but he really was that nigga. You see what I'm saying? So that's the reason why he got that level of respect. Even he not getting respect for nothing positive. He just getting respect because he really did what he talked about in his rap. So I mean, that's how I look at this shit. As soon as people stop consuming that, King Von be like, damn, like I guess people don't think this shit is cool. Maybe I don't need to live like this. You know what I mean? I feel like we actually put these niggas, the people who are not living that life, we kind of have not direct responsibility, but we are creating that lane for these niggas in these situations to feel like that's who they need to be. If that makes any sense, I think that's the best way to put it. So
It is because, like, for the nobody, it's only like a small percentage that's living that life. For the people that's consuming his music, like that's a a big difference. Of who's yeah.
Yeah, I think the other thing, man, I think one of the things is so even as you have like I'll say seasoned vets, like actually speaking out about like how this is or how this needs to like stop, and like even with the podcast and like whether it's on social media, Instagram or whatever. Like, so for instance, like even T.I. came out and was like, you know what I'm saying, whatever he said about like handle the beefs in your city. And like, yes, that might not have been his place to say anything on it, but like the backlash he got from like the steppers and everything like that just shows you how much of a glorification and like a justification it can be. Whereas though you're like, you can't tell us what to do, especially if
he's not telling them to stop it completely. He said just do it in your own city. Like you're not telling
right. But he got endless backlash from everybody. Well, from not from everybody, from a good number of people, a good number of celebrities, a good number of street people, where they was like basically stay out of this one. But I mean, like he didn't say like you said, Randall, he ain't say nothing about like, you know what I'm saying, don't do it or put the guns down or anything of the sort. But even still, people was coming at him and telling him like stay out of it. And it's like, bruh, I'm just speaking on like us as I probably putting words in his mouth, but I'm speaking on us as a community, and don't do that here in Atlanta. But y'all are bringing it to Black Hollywood, as you call it.
Yeah, and that's his hometown. He should feel like.
I know what you're saying with that, but I'll go here, Randall.
I mean, yeah, he should feel like that because that's his hometown. But at the same time, you're not like, what are you saying at the end of the day? Like you saying just do the shit not on my front lawn, like that's not like positive.
All right. So my question to y'all: do y'all think, like honestly, do y'all really think that like gang members and like street niggas or so-called, like, are they not looked at within our so-called Black culture? Are they not looked at as empathetic figures? You know what I'm saying? Because it kind of seems like it to me. Like, you know, they almost look like, oh man, they just doing what they got to do to survive. Like, you can't judge them. They almost kind of got like you can't even judge. You're not even allowed to speak on it. And I feel like because of that, you know what I'm saying, it's almost as if we're just in what's it called, enabling the shit to continue. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's almost like you can't even talk about this shit, you know? And the sad thing about it, it goes all the way back to that conversation we had months ago. That nigga King Von had kids. You know what I'm saying? So now he got kids that's gonna grow up without a father. The nigga who shot him most likely had kids. Now their kids is gonna grow up without a father. All about what? Over some he said, she said shit? Oh, because you was mad. It's almost, you know, it's kind of crazy. It's almost if like, it's like male cattiness turned violent. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. Like a lot of this shit don't be about nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be like if it was just women, it'd just be back and forth, you know, arguing. But because it's men, it turns into death and violence, you know what I'm saying? And fatherless children, you know? So I don't know.
And it's like a notch on their belt. Like if you the dude to get him, that's like a notch on your belt.
This shit don't mean nothing because it don't amount to anything. At the end of the day, it don't amount to shit. You know, so it's kind of crazy, you know. And the funny thing, like even as much as we talk about Nipsey Hussle, the reason why Nipsey Hussle got so much love is because he was a gang member first who did positive shit. If that nigga just went to college and he ain't do nothing wrong, straight edge, and did the same shit, nobody would give a fuck and nobody would talk about this nigga. The reason why he was so loved is because he came from something negative and he did something positive. If you took that gang member aspect away from Nipsey Hussle, nobody would give a fuck about his positivity, you know? So, and that just also goes into, and what does that do, right? You a young nigga, right? Oh, I'm trying to be a positive member of society. Nobody recognizes me. I'm so positive. I'm so positive. Nobody just sees it. And then you look to your left and you see gang member nigga doing the same shit you do, but he just a gang member. He gets all the fucking love and glory. It's like, nigga, why not join the Crips? You know what I'm saying? Because if I join the Crips and I do positive shit, the Black community will, embrace me with open arms. You see what I'm saying? So even as crazy as it seems, I felt like that was a commercial for the Crips. As fucked up as it sounds, I know it may not be a popular opinion, but that's how it looked to me. It's like, damn, like this nigga, you understand what I'm trying to say? It's like, I'm not sitting there saying you can't turn your life positive, but I felt like the reception, I'm not even judging Nipsey. I'm talking about how the people perceived it. If he was never had a negative past, I don't think he would have got nowhere near the amount of love he got when he died.
I think absolutely right.
So that's just, I guess that's something that we gotta look at within ourselves as a culture and be like, are we just as responsible as these niggas? Like I said, a lot of these dudes don't have nothing positive in their lives going on. They don't get no compliments. They don't get nobody telling them they're smart. Nobody tells them they're handsome. No one tells you you can do this, you can do that. But the only fucking thing positive they see is they see other shoot 'em up, bang bang niggas on TV and on the back. So why would you not want to be a shoot 'em up, bang bang nigga when you see that the only niggas who seem to get patted on the back is those niggas? Like, think about that shit. Why not be like that? It makes sense.
But like, who's pushing this industry to make a means to do so?
I don't think it's just the industry. I think it's Western civilization.
Nah, it's definitely
Competitiveness.
it's an industry. It's a whole industry. Like,
It's yeah, there's a
I
whole
agree, but at the
industry,
end of the
but
day, they're not going to. As long as niggas is buying, they will be selling. So we can blame them for taking advantage of these niggas and this, that, and the third. But then you got niggas who have no reason. Like, really, at the end of the day, you don't got really no reason to be entrenched in that type of shit. But it's fascinating to you. So because of your fascination with street culture, more niggas is going to try to be like this, and they're going to die young, and they're going to leave fatherless children because of a fascination with the culture that don't amount to shit.
but I'm
You know what I'm
saying,
saying? At the end of the day.
but there's no culture.
but
My,
TMZ picks these stories up, and then like who's behind that? And the record companies. I mean, Cardi B is like the biggest like artist out here, and her like first single is Bodak Yellow. Like
Some gang shit.
she came on the scene on some gang shit, and
But it wasn't at the. But ain't that part of the reason why niggas fell in love with Cardi? Because she was an ex-gang member who was a
I
stripper
didn't
who
even
did
know she
something
was an
positive.
ex-gang.
Like, that's why niggas fell in love with her. Let's keep it real. Like, that's what it was. If she
I
was
thought it
like
was just
just a
because she was a
positive
stripper.
girl
I
who went to
didn't know.
college and shit, I don't think it would have been the same.
she got her whole cosign
Like,
from.
you know what I'm saying?
Outside of this, like hip hop shit, like these basketball niggas be doing the same shit. So
What you mean as far as what?
glorifying gang culture, like James Harden.
Oh, you talking about when like John Wall throwing up? That's the shit I'm talking about. But what is John Wall doing when he's throwing up those? So he's promoting black male death. He may not see it that way, but that's what the hell he's doing because there's nothing else that brings. He may not have died.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He may not. The only reason why the nigga would feel the confidence to do that because he knows that there's a little bit of K that comes with that. There's a, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh shit, he blood. Oh, he a real nigga. What other reason would you do that shit?
Hey, I don't know, but at the same time, I mean, some of those people, I mean, like they might not be actually living out that life, that gang life still, but they come from that culture and like even are going back to. So I'll just say for John Wall and of course I don't know anything personally or anything, but like so with John Wall and him throwing up the gang stuff, John Wall, like they say he
not the only one. He's not the only one either. So like,
yeah, I know. I'm only speaking on John Wall just because of like, you know what I'm saying? We know he came from like the troubled North Carolina background or what have you. And he was like, he grew up around street bammers and he grew up, and I think his father might even been like a street bammer or what have you.
Yeah, his father was, yeah.
Most recently we saw him throwing up the gang signs whenever he was in the hotel room. And of course we thought that shit was dumb as shit. But at the same time, like I think what happened with John was probably he was in the middle of a crisis. And whereas though his mother just passed, you know what I'm saying? Like he's been dealing with the two seasons of being off, and then all of a sudden, like you go back to what you know, and either you at that crossroads, you at that fork in the road where either you can go, you know what I'm saying, to the light of positivity, or you can go back to what you know and what you've been accustomed to. And I think that's might have been what he did. And not to say that John is a bad person or John has done anything other than throwing up gang signs throughout the game. And John is one of the top 5 gang sign thrower uppers in the game. But I don't know him. I don't know.
I don't think it's that serious though. I don't think it's that serious because
No, I mean I understand. That's what I'm saying. Like I think at the end of the day, like yes, that's where you come from, but even that, it's like, oh, where I come from. Well, I came from this gang, this neighborhood. What them niggas used to do? I was just shoot and kill niggas. Oh, I know a bunch of niggas that got shot and killed, death, murder, homicide. It's like at the end of the day, that's still what that shit means. Like even if that's where he came from, he's saying basically, I came from a place of violence and death. That's basically what he's explaining when he says that, because that's all that comes from that shit. So it's still, and it's not like oh, hey guys, don't be like this, or you know what I'm saying? It's like it's promoting as if it's a good thing. And then if there's a nigga from his neighborhood came from the same background, he like, oh shit, he became a multimillionaire NBA and he's still blood. I could still be blood and be successful. But everybody don't got the gift that John Wall has. Everybody else can't run as fast as he can. It can't jump as high as he can. It can't shoot a basketball like he can. So them saying when he throws up that sign, he's giving hope to niggas who can't do what he can do. And then them niggas is going to end up with the early death. They're going to end up having fatherless fucking children, or they're going to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, even though he may be harmless and he may not have hurt nobody, he still influenced some young nigga from his neighborhood to go down that path. Either way.
Because John Wall is a good person. So like,
I know he's a good. I'm not taking nothing away from him.
Yeah,
But like I said, you can be a good person and still lack awareness. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to say he's a bad person. Like I know he has a good. I've seen it multiple times through all the years and shit. But I just don't co-sign that shit. I just don't co-sign that.
Yeah,
but we're all human, nigga. Everybody gonna find something. I guarantee you, we all can find something about each other. We not gonna co-sign. Like nigga, that's just fucking people. That shit ain't no big deal.
But Al, that incident when he got caught up on like a cell phone, I think that's different from because like of course that's not his cell phone, and like he think he's chilling with the fellas and shit, and then probably a hot ass friend posted junk. You know what I'm saying? But if you on the floor and you catch an N1 and you throwing that shit up, that's a little different. Like that's, I mean, millions of people watching, so that's a little different. And another thing I want to put out there, like how that work when you a blood and shit, and then you end up playing for I don't know
a blue team.
Yeah, Tar Heels and shit like how that shit work?
You know he can't wear that damn Tar Heels hat at home.
Like that nigga went to Kentucky.
Whatever. Kentucky. Yeah.
Yeah, red
That's
draws.
probably why he didn't go there. That's probably why he didn't go to the Tar Heels though. Probably for that reason right there. Niggas like, nah, I'm going to Kentucky.
I ain't never understand this shit.
It's funny as shit though. Mm-hmm.